The Woods is back in the house. I have been on a medical vacation. I do mean medical vacation. It's been over a month since I've been here at WPTP because I had a big medical boo boo.
Well, you got to take care of yourself, Dr.
I
Woods. You
know,
can't check out of here early. Don't do
I
that to
know, and
us.
I'm going to be totally transparent. I'm going to be totally transparent. So I must have got so angry.
Mm.
I take my community personal.
A- Absolutely.
I do, and I got to stop, but I got so upset
Mm.
at things that were going on in this community that my blood pressure shot so high. I'm talking about 249 over 117. And
My
I didn't even know
goodness.
that I had a major grand mal seizure, two of them, and a stroke. And a stroke. And the way God would have it, this particular Thursday after work, I normally drive home from Dalton to Chattanooga.
Hmm.
I'm trying to get a home closer to my office too. So I went to look at a house in Dalton. Beautiful home on 5.6 acres of land, a beautiful pond with bass, fish, and catfish being fed from a natural stream, and big swimming pool, wraparound country porch, in-law suite. I'm talking about gorgeous
Nice.
house. And so when we were standing in the kitchen talking about doing the contract, I kept feeling saliva build up in my mouth. So I'm just telling y'all this because you need to be aware of these things. And I kept clearing my throat. And the more the more the saliva kept building up in my throat. And I must have started talking lethargic. I don't know. Because the owner was like, Dr. Woods, are you okay? And I said, I don't think so. He said, well, who can we call? And I gave him my daughter's number. Everybody know my daughter Megan and her phone number, and I don't remember anything else. I woke up in Hamilton emergency room in Dalton, and the doctors were slapping me in my face, trying to wake me up. And when I woke up, he said, "Do you know where you are?" And I was still laying in the bed, and I looked up and I said, "No." He said, "You're in Hamilton emergency room. You've had two major seizures, and we've got to take a MRI on your brain to see what's going on." So when they did the MRI, it came back that I had a stroke. And I said, well, if I've had a stroke, I said, well, why aren't I paralyzed? Why am my face, asymmetric or whatever? And why aren't I talking with slurred speech? I feel fine. And I feel like I'm smarter now than I was before I had the seizure. And he said, well, your stroke, you're blessed. He said, your stroke happened in a part of the brain where there's absolutely no activity.
Mm.
So I want to give a praise right now
God
to
is
the
good.
Lord Almighty that
God is
I
good.
serve for watching over me, because I would have been on the highway
Mm, mm, mm.
driving home when I had that medical emergency. And Lord knows what would have happened.
Mm, mm,
But
mm,
I
mm.
felt like the three shepherd boys, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. When he threw them in the fire, and they came out and there was nothing. They couldn't tell they'd ever been in the fire, but they learned something while they were in there. I felt like Daniel in the lion's den.
Mm.
He locked the jaws of the lions. And when Daniel came out, he had not been eaten up, hadn't been bit or anything. And I felt like Jonah in the whale when the whale swallowed Jonah up and God tickled the whale's belly and made him regurgitate him, made him spit him out. He came out whole. See, God will put you in situations and make things happen to you
Mm.
that while it's happening to you, you'll think it's the worst thing ever.
Mm, mm, mm,
But
mm.
when you come out of it,
Lord have mercy. Don't do it,
you
Dr.
you
Woods.
won't have any remnants
Mm.
of what you've been through, but you learned something. You got an experience out of that.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
the experience and the lesson that I got out of that is that this battle is not mine.
It's the Lord's.
It's the Lord's battle.
Mm.
And God wants to use us as a vessel. But when we go in front of him and we
Mm.
start taking things on personal, it will start affect your mind. It will start affecting your whole spirit. It'll start affecting your health. So my message and words to all of my listeners and my fans is that when you start taking on things that it begins to affect your health, back up from it. because this battle is not yours, it's the Lord's. And be used as a vessel. Let the Lord guide you. That's what he wanted me to get out of that. And since then, I've started eating better. I've lost about 35 pounds. Of course, I can't drive now because I had the seizure for about 6 months. So I get me some chauffeur service
Okay.
everywhere I go.
Okay.
And my health has gotten better.
Good.
My health, he wanted my health to get better. Because sometimes when you are in the midst of doing so much for the community, you will neglect yourself.
Absolutely.
You will neglect yourself. And so
Absolutely.
God is saying to me, and I'm telling you all the same thing, is that don't get so wrapped up into doing for others
That you
that you
forget about yourself.
neglect yourself.
That's right.
And so that's what I got at. And I want to say thank you, Lord.
Mm.
And thank you for all of my friends, all of the people at church, all of the folks that knew about my situation, that put me in their prayers. I got one of my patients gave me a prayer cloth the day before yesterday. And I want to just thank my patients for being patient because I was out of work for a couple of weeks. And they wanted me to stay off for 3 months. I was like, for what? I don't have any deficiencies. I'm not going, to get rehab or
Rest.
anything. I rested and I was getting restless resting. And I said, I cannot take this. I have got to go do something because dentistry is the love of my life. It is what God blessed me with to be able to help other people.
But Dr. Woods, sometimes when we're on the move, and God is intentional about everything
He
that
is.
that happens, God can't speak to us if we're so busy.
That's it.
And sometimes God will put you on your backside.
He'll slam you down
and hold you hostage.
Pavement.
Just to
down,
talk to you.
Just to talk to you. Just to talk to you. And I felt like that was what God wanted to do. Y'all know I'm stubborn. Y'all know I'm a little hard-headed. And it's because I got so much fight in me for my people. It's never been about me. It's always been about my people, especially those that are disadvantaged, especially those that are disenfranchised, especially all of my brothers and my sisters that are going through this battle every day with seemingly no help, no money, nowhere to go, nowhere to turn. You all are the ones I fight for every day. And that's why I love Marie, because she's out there fighting every day for people like you. And so when we're out there on the battlefield, we have to take care of ourselves, Marie.
Yes, ma'am.
So that we can continue the fight.
That's right.
Because what would have happened if I'd have lost my life?
Mm-mm.
What would have happened?
Work would have been undone.
And you know what? If we're in God's plan to do his will, he won't even let us get in the way. He'll do something profound to us to stop us or slow us down. And I'm thankful for that because we hard-headed, bullheaded, whatever they want to say about us, but it's for good. It ain't for bad. It's for good. And so I just want to thank you, Marie, for coming on the show today.
I am so honored to be back here again. Thank you for having me, Dr. Woods.
Yes, and I do want to let you all know that this invitation has been extended to your opponent who's running for the race as well, trying to be council district councilwoman number 8. And the invitation is still extended to her. But I just want to get that out the way because we on the radio world, FCC policy requires that we do the right thing and that we don't tilt as far as me being the host, show my whole card in any kind of way. So I'm just going to say, I am so glad to have you back. And it's a lot of stuff been going on since the last time you were on the show. Oh, my God.
Oh, man.
Oh, Lord. So I wake up one morning and I see where the mayor is going to have a press conference to endorse your opponent. And I go, wow, I didn't know they could do that. And so I watched it. And I just want to say to you right now, first of all, you are allowed to say what you think on our air. you're allowed to say whatever you want. We won't call nobody's name.
Mhm.
And you're allowed to speak truth to power on this radio station. I founded this radio station. It is Black owned and operated. And it's because so many radio stations can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
But we are here for the people, by the people, so that the people know when they listen on WPTP, whether it's through Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, or our website, or the tuner 100.1 FM, they know they're getting the uncontested gospel truth, and we're speaking truth to power when we have to.
Yes, ma'am.
So tell us what's going on, Marie.
Well, first again, thank you, Dr. Woods, for having me. And I want to say, this is Marie Mott speaking, your city council candidate for District 8. I want to thank all of my supporters who came out in record and voted me in the first time.
Yes.
Supported me and canvassed with me, phone banked with me, texted people with me, everything that you did to support me, love me, donated to my campaign, even if you just kept me encouraged along the way, because it is a long journey to get into public office. I want to thank every one of my supporters, from the youngest to the oldest. I am grateful for you. And even if you didn't vote for me, if you came out and utilized your voice and the rights that you have in honor of your ancestors and speaking up for what you want to see as far as leadership, I'm grateful for you as well. And I hope to earn your vote and your support going forward. Dr. Woods, a lot has happened. So, August the 4th, we got home and I was sitting at home watching the results. I was talking to my mom down in Georgia, and she usually is in bed by 9 o'clock. And she was up anxious. My father was anxious, just watching the numbers roll in. And it seemed like every refresh the margin got wider and wider and wider, and then it was a win. And I woke up the next morning excited that the people had spoken.
Yes.
The people made the choice that they felt was best, and it was not me as a person. I don't think people are choosing me. I hope they are choosing the work. I hope they are choosing the vision that I have of how we can push for progress in District 8 and how we can get some things accomplished. And that believe in my heart that it's in the right place to prioritize the people. And I'm not doing this for self-gratification. And so I got up the next morning and I was excited. And then my phone started blowing up. And I'm hearing ding, 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 ding. And I'm like, Lord have mercy. I hope it's nothing bad.
Right.
And so I had people inboxing me talking about a runoff. And I was a little bit confused. And so I called down to the election commission, and then they really didn't have any answers about what was going on and told me to call either the city attorney or the chairman for the city council. And so I reached out to Emily O'Donnell, who is the city attorney. She didn't return my phone call, but sent me an email congratulating me on getting the most votes, but stated I needed 50% plus one. And I was, at first I was a little bit deflated.
Yes.
Because I felt like every candidate, me, Mallory, especially because we are not currently the interim or sitting on the city council, we should have been informed, and even the voters should have known that the possibility of going to a runoff from day one. So they already understand that they got to come back out and vote should it go to a runoff.
Right.
And that's generally how runoff elections work. I'm not opposed to going to a runoff, but in past and previous runoffs, it's something that's stated from day one.
Yes.
So the voters are aware. And I felt like that was an impediment that was put in from our public officials, but that's okay. I was a little deflated, and I called Mama Mott. When you're stressed, you're pressed, you're worried, you're sick, you calling mama.
You go call your mama. Mama.
So I called my mama, and I told her how I was feeling, and she listened to me, and she said, all right, baby, you're going to take this weekend off, and you're going to rest, and you're going to get yourself together, because we're getting ready to hit the ground running.
It's wartime.
Mama Mott didn't let me sulk. She didn't let
Yeah.
me complain. She didn't let me whine. She said, baby, that's okay. That's okay. It's not right, but that's okay.
Yes.
Get back out there and do what you did before. Go knock on doors and talk to the people. Go knock on doors and let people know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Go back to the same people and reach out to more people and just make them aware and let them know that you're still in the fight for them and bring them back out, because what they're
Yes.
counting on is people not coming back
Coming
to the
back out.
polls. And so I immediately got back to work. This past weekend alone, we knocked on 547 doors in 3 days. I don't even have soles in my shoes anymore. We've been smoking.
That's what I'm talking about.
But I'm so encouraged because I've gotten love, so much love, and people have just shown, like, they've been stopping me in traffic, like, can I get some of those cards to hand out and let people know, Marie, I'm coming back to vote and I'm bringing somebody with me. There's such an energy that's going on that I love, and so I'm not discouraged. If anything, they just make me fight harder.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm
As
talking
far
about.
as the mayor reaction,
I think he did that.
well,
What's up with that, Marie?
well, the thing that we have to understand, Dr. Woods, is that Chattanooga has always been a city that has been slow to recognize the people that fight for change.
Mm.
We talked a little bit about it the last time that I was here, but we talk about people like H.H. Wright, James Mapp, C.B. Robinson.
Yes.
When we talk about these African Americans that stood up for people's rights, that
activists
fought for resources. When we talk about Tommy Brown, when we talk about these individuals, we often wait until they're so old to recognize.
Then start getting them awards.
Right, a lifetime of work. But one of the things that I think that we miss is none of the changes that we have benefited from came without some level of resistance.
And sometimes retaliation.
That's right. So it's a natural expectation that when you're standing up for the people, when you're prioritizing the people, when you're saying, I'm not doing this for self, I'm not doing this to see what I can get out of it. But no, what I want to do is take power that is given to me by the people and use it in the best interest of the people.
Girl, you sounded like me.
To folks who have never utilized power in the best interest of people, you're dangerous.
Yes, you are.
You see what I'm saying?
Woo!
And I
think dangerous, y'all.
And the city council knows that I'm going to challenge them to keep everything above board.
And accountability at all times.
Accountability in every level, whether it is financial, whether it is ethical. I want to make sure that we're going by the book.
Did y'all hear that?
Do you see what I'm saying? Because when I look at the condition, not only of District 8, because yes, am I going to be prioritizing District 8? Absolutely. But does that mean I'm blind to what's happening in On Park?
Hey, you girl.
Or the West Side?
Yes, no ma'am.
Or Eastdale? No, I see the condition of a lot of communities in our city. And I want to ensure that I'm a champion for people in District 8, but I'm also thinking about how can we push Chattanooga forward for everybody in this city. I want to challenge my leadership to step it up.
Ooh, did y'all hear that? This woman right here sound like, something I was and want to be and stay. I love it. I love it, girl. You're a civil rights activist.
Well, you can't talk to people like Dr. Tommy Brown or Lehman Pierce or I got a city councilman Pierce and then talk to folks like Commissioner William Cotton. You can't talk to those kind of
real activists.
Yes, and understand the legwork that they put in, how they were able to get things accomplished in their community, and then think that you can just go to city council and then do what's in the best interest of you. Absolutely not.
No.
I'm grateful that I've had an opportunity to talk to Commissioner Cotton, to talk to State Legislator Tommy Brown, to talk to Councilman Pierce, so I can understand how to maneuver.
Yeah.
How to one of the things I think some of the public officials have not done, Dr. Woods,
yes,
is gone to the elders.
They won't go. They won't go.
Not only do we
They
not honor them,
they won't
not
go.
only do we not honor them in my purview, but we don't go back to those elders and ask them to teach us how do I step into
Did you
leadership?
all hear that, millennials? Did you hear what this millennial just said? Oh, there is
Teach me.
saving grace right now.
Teach me.
The millennials and the young folks, who, by the way, are extremely brilliant.
Yes.
You all are extremely brilliant.
We don't have experience.
But the experience is not there. And that's what elders are for.
That's
It's
right.
not to take your opportunities away from you,
That's
but
right.
it's to make sure that the things that you've never experienced, that we teach it to you. So when you see it and you've never seen it before, you'll know what it is.
That's correct. So I don't want to go into this blind. I don't want to go into this, even if I win, I am ignorant to what it means to actually step into this role. So the best information I can gather is who's already been in these, who's
Amen.
already walked this path,
Y'all listen to her.
who's already cleared the path for me. And just really connecting with them has I sat with Commissioner Cotton, and I went home and I had 3 pages of notes
Way to
and
go, Commissioner Cotton.
and so much homework. But I was excited because when I go in, I'm going to be informed and accountable to people who can help me strategize and make sure that I'm doing what's in the best interest of the community. Because it's easy also when you get power
Oh, yeah.
to get the big head.
To get the big head. And we have people that have power that have gotten the big head. And I'm sorry, when your head gets big and it gets so blowed up, it's going to pop.
That's right.
It's going to pop. And and I appreciate,
Mm.
you know, I used to see Maria out there wilding out. Well, I called it wild because I'm an elder. So, you know, in my generation, we do things a little different.
Mm.
But I used to see you wilding out, and I thought, that girl is crazy. That girl oh Lord, somebody get her. But I understand the reason why you had to use those tactics. Sometimes to get the people's attention, because they're not listening, you have to do something kind of profound. But I love the way you brought the people with you. The people love you, Maria.
I love the people.
They love you. Not just the young people in your age and generation, but it's some of us in the older generation. I was talking to somebody today on the way over here, and they love you. And she's 92 years old.
Oh my goodness.
And she is a pioneer.
Mm.
And so, and that's not to slight your opponent. It's just that I want to let you know that don't be discouraged because you have people in politics that are politicking.
Well, that's okay. You know, I take it as a badge of honor when the CEO of the city, when the CEO of a city that has over 187,000 people is worried about little Marie Mott.
Little old bit of Marie Mott. You know, and that's what the people are saying. Our mayor has so much prominence and influence that for him, and this is not to talk about him because, you know, I'm going to talk to him again sooner or later. But if you are threatened and that to the point to where you've got to put your reputation on the line, because he's going to run again. He's going to run again. To put your reputation on the line, which I've never seen a politician do this ever, because I remember when the mayor was running and there was a runoff between him and Kim White. And I know former Mayor Corker, who's the U.S. Senator for the United States for this region, is the best of friend with Kim White, did not get in that race. Because when you are a politician, you have to be careful what you do when it comes to endorsing somebody. Because if that person loses, then when it's time for you to run again, all those people that you said no to, they're going to say no to you. So I just want to say, you know, that was a bold thing for him to do. I mean, and maybe there's no law against it. I don't know. I hadn't looked it up. But I just want to say to you that it was a compliment, because I think that people in the city see you as a threat to uncover a lot of dirt, a lot of dirt, and to keep them held accountable for things that they're supposed to be held accountable to, and to keep them honest and ethical. And people always say politics is dirty. Is it? Does it have to be?
Mm.
So if there's somebody that's gonna keep I call it, keep the eyes open of the people who they're serving, keep their eyes open and keep them informed, is wanting to be your leader. And this is not an on the radio station endorsement, FCC. Then maybe this is a person you all need to consider. I hope that Miss Noel comes on, because I like to hear what she's got going on. So let me ask you, what are you going to do for the people? Because people want to know.
Absolutely.
Every time somebody run for office and they get up there, like you said, they get the big head, and then all the stuff that they promise they're not going to do. So I wanted to go on record so people can hold you accountable.
Absolutely.
What are you going to do to improve the lives of the people that live in District 8? What are some of the troubled areas that you see that you want to see resolved? And remember, it takes 5 votes. How are you going to bring those people on the city council together to where they will support what you want to do and vote positively in your favor for those things that you're going to be advocating for?
Absolutely. So the first thing is my platform is based on safer streets, cleaner communities, accessible housing, and better opportunities for everyone, regardless of zip code. And so when we think about cleaner neighborhoods, one of the biggest proponents of that, Dr. Woods, is infrastructure. So we are already moving towards an infrastructure project with the Wilcox Bridge. But how can we advocate for things like they've been saying the majority of my life that they were going to rebuild the Wilcox Tunnel.
Right.
So the council person actually has the ability to work with the city to be able to propose these needs at the federal level, and making sure that we keep track of federal infrastructure dollars that are coming into the city so that we can negotiate with the leadership to ensure that some of those dollars come towards projects that are within our community. So one of the things that I want to do is keep track of federal funds that are coming into our city, state level funds that are coming into our city, and then working with the community to see what are our priorities for our district of some of the infrastructure needs. So when I think about the district, most people are quite sick of that very skinny tunnel in Wilcox.
Oh, it's scary.
But when I think about at the community level from canvassing, I've seen where Oak Grove could use better street lighting and need sidewalks. And I've seen where Avondale and pockets of Boyd Station could utilize better drainage to ensure that it doesn't flood. So I've seen firsthand, from knocking on doors and talking to people and looking at the conditions of what's going on, the infrastructure needs at the ground level, and they're different from every community. So making sure that we prioritize those, that we put in our roads that need to be paved in District 8.
The potholes, right?
Not just potholes. I want roads paved, and advocating to make sure that, okay, so this district has already gotten these roads paved and this district got those roads paved. Well, how many have we paved in District 8? And if it's not up to snuff with what everybody else is getting, I want to advocate for that.
Right.
When we talk about things like safer streets, I think one of the first things that we need to do is bring parks and recreation, or it's now parks and outdoors. We need to bring our YFD heads to the table. We need to bring our youth to a table, and the police, youth and their parents, and then the police to the table. And then what we need to do is have a discussion about what can each sector of the community do to make sure that we have safer communities. So for the police, how can I encourage and work with the police officers assigned to my communities that they are going to do more to get out of their car and knock on doors and pass out cards and build relationships with people in the community and do a better job of patrolling How can I make sure that my YFD centers get the resources they need to be able to have the programs that are going to attract those young people? How can I survey the young people so we can develop the programs that they want to see in their
Yes.
communities? And then how can I bring the parents into this conversation so that we can give them some of the resources to be better parents and better
Wow.
involved in the community overall?
I've never heard of that one.
But you got to bring everybody to the table.
Everybody.
You got to bring everybody to the table.
Everybody. And when you talk about infrastructure, I
Mhm.
know that the city got $30 million and I know the county got 70 million. And by the way, I want to say publicly, thank you to the County Mayor Jim Coppinger and the county commissioners for awarding Alton Park Development Corporation with $450,000 to help renovate our historical building that we own out here. It used to be the Pineywood Elementary School building. It was built in 1963. And because of that, we are feeling some cool air in
Mm.
the radio room today because one of the biggest projects that we have is to put central heating and air in this building that was not here when they built it in the 60s. And I think they had a chiller system that is not efficient, it's not working. They had an old boiler system that was too expensive to crank up. And we're a nonprofit. So we've got nice air in our radio room now, and this whole building will be nicely air conditioned and heated. And the great thing about it is that we don't have to push one button and do this whole 48,000 square foot of a building. We can just do it room by room
Mm.
so that our electric bill can be maintained at a decent amount every month. And so I want to thank them for giving us the start. And we've got a lot of fundraisers planned throughout the year. I think we've got a reunion, a Pattywood Elementary School reunion gala planned where all the folks that went to school here and taught here and parents and all and the rest of the community are invited to come out and fellowship and make contributions that night to help us continue this restoration project because we really need about $10 million if you want to know the truth. So we are still fundraising. And I hope that if the opportunity comes again, when you are our city council, if something comes across the table, that you'll give us something to help us out. It doesn't have to be a big amount. It can just be maybe, I don't know, 100,000. Everything matters. Every little piece that we get is going to be used. We got 8 acres of land that have to be maintained. And so we're thankful. We
Yes,
are
ma'am.
extremely thankful for any donation we get. In fact, you all can donate today by going to our website, which is ADPC. That's Autumn Park Development Corporation, but it's our initials, apdc98.org. There's a list of things you can donate to. Everything is tax deductible. So anything that you donate, you can write it off. We are a 501c3 nonprofit. And yes, we are in compliance with the state law through the Secretary of State, which you have to also be in order to solicitate and game in the state of Tennessee. If you're not, if you're not doing your quarterly reports with Secretary of State Trey Hargard, then you are breaking law number 10, chapter 7, which could get you in a lot of trouble, including prison. So just because we're a nonprofit doesn't mean that we can solicitate and game unless we have the paperwork to show that we are doing everything according to the law in this state of Tennessee. So I didn't mean to cut you out on your
No, you're
thing,
all
but I thought
right.
I needed to say that. And please, you all, go to our website, see what we do. We do so much stuff over here, y'all, including bringing our illustrious, about to be Councilwoman Marie Mott on the show and letting her just tell her story. So go ahead, finish telling us some more stuff of what you're going to do. I want to know. And how you going to bring everybody together?
So, one of the best ways that we can bring everybody together is just build out how we can meet with one another. So I know my elders, they love those in-person meetings. So I have to pull up with the elders in the community and meet with them face to face. And I love that interaction. But for our young people who are on the go, they're more into digitally being connected. So
Right.
bring the two together so we can have a Avondale meeting, right?
Yes.
Physically, but have it streaming on Facebook,
Yes.
streaming on YouTube. So people who live in the Avondale community that might not be able to be there physically can watch digitally.
And can they, and even on digital, will there
Mhm.
be an opportunity for those who are out there watching it digitally to ask questions and to be
Absolutely.
answered?
Absolutely. So the beautiful thing about Zoom is that allows you could do polls, you could do question box. So I could see those come up in real
Mm,
time. You can have the comment section. So if you don't want to put it in the question box, you could throw it in the comment section. So there's ability to, just like what you're doing right now, you could
yes.
pull it up on a screen as long as there's the capacity to connect to a screen. I can see those questions, and so can everybody else see those questions that are coming up in real time from people who are watching digitally. Then the other thing is there is a digital record. So once it's saved on YouTube, it's there forever. So if you want to go back and look at that meeting and have that digitally cataloged, then you're building out that catalog. And I think the other thing is that really encourages people, you have to be able to see your progress.
Yes.
So
Yes.
where did we start from day one of Marie Mott's leadership of District 8? And then what do we achieve by the end of the year? What do we achieve annually? And by the time we get to the end of my term, you could go and look and say, oh my goodness, we've done so much in a short period of time where people are just encouraged to keep powering forward. So I want to bring hybridize, right? So a
Right.
little old school, a little new school. Ain't nothing with
Right.
combining the two to make sure that we reach everybody. And one of the other things that have been talking to a friend of mine who is a council person in Kentucky that he does for elders is specifically for them, he does telehealth calls. And so I
Hmm.
would love, when we think about building out healthier communities, I would love to have Dr. Woods. I would love to have people to talk about mental behavioral health. How do we talk about keeping your blood pressure under control?
Hello, y'all. I got in trouble.
Right? How do we? But you could just dial in from a landline or dial in from a cell phone.
Mm,
So I want to increase accessibility to be able to meet people where they are, because even for some of the elders, they might not be able to get outside and they might not be connected and tech savvy, but they
yes.
know how to dial a number,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And so those are the ways that I want to get people engaged. As far as the other two parts of my platform, when we think about how we're going to work on housing in District 8, I have canvassed Avondale, Churchville, and Boyd Station, which have the highest concentration of condemned houses in the city,
That's
in my
interesting.
district. And so, a great portion of those are actually single family dwellings. So they're not a lot of them that are duplexes.
How many do you know are abandoned in your district right now that can be rehabilitated?
From what I've counted over 100. I've
Wow.
counted over 100. If including duplexes and single family dwellings, I've counted over 100 in my district. So there's a large opportunity for us to take. The mayor has $100 million housing plan,
Hmm.
$33 million that's going to be budgeted every single year. How am I going to advocate for millions of dollars to pour into my district? One of the beautiful things I saw, I lived on Limbrook Avenue before I moved back to Blackford Street in District 8. And right behind me, I saw where a developer took a condemned house, a condemned house,
Mm.
and rebuilt it, refurbished it. It was absolutely gorgeous. I went and I looked in on the inside. It took him probably about 8 months and put it up on the market for $257,000 and sold it.
Whoa.
So when I see that as an example of what just an individual developer can do with even a condemned house, it gave me some encouragement that we don't need to tear down all of this housing. Some of it might need to be demolished because it's
Right.
too far gone.
So y'all don't be going to the tax sale auction and buying these houses that are on the condemned list only to find out that you can't rent it out and you can't do a little simple, I call it renovation, and then put it out on the market. Because some of them are on the demolition list, which means it would take more to fix it to get it off the demolition list than to just tear it down. And the city it's gotten really slick about that. They'll put those condemned houses, the houses that need to be demolished, out there for us to bid on. And it's our people, because we always looking for a way up, right? We got to hustle, and we'll buy it for $500 or $600, only to find out we got to pay 50,000 and tear it down. That's
Mhm.
happened to a friend of mine. So be careful when y'all are bidding on these, and you can't go in and look at them. Be careful when you're buying these houses that are on the condemned list, or that is on the I guess it's the auction that comes out every year. Be careful buying those houses.
Well, one of the things that I would like to do is see the city preserve what we can, demolish what is too far gone, but
Mhm.
preserve what we can, and then utilize some of the millions that we can put into our district to revitalize some of that housing. And then for me, I just see opportunity, opportunity. Pour millions into the district. How can we start working with minority contractors to be able to do some of the work on these houses?
Yes.
So we have folks that have contracting companies, which means you got subcontractors that can link to that. That means job opportunity and money
Yes.
for people. I want to make sure people eat in my community. Okay. All
Yes.
right. So, how can we pour some money into our district that is going to be utilized every single year? And I want to champion that there is housing that can be revitalized and then made affordable for people in the community.
Affordable is the word.
That's right.
Because sometimes they fix these houses up and they're $1,500 a month to rent. And sometimes people don't make 50, it takes them almost a half a year to get $1,500. So reasonable,
Right.
where people that really need a house can actually afford a house. That's the number one. I love that. I
Thank
love
you.
that.
Thank you. And then when we think about better opportunities for people in the community, one of the programs that I've been watching for about a year, year and a half, that has been happening with the West Side community has been the partnership between the city and the Enterprise Center,
Mhm.
Tech Goes Home, and Google, where they have been upskilling people in the community to get them into information technology. The program comes with you being able to get a stipend, so you get paid to go through the
A
program,
computer.
and then a computer, and then when you graduate, that gives you have a skill, and starting at $40,000 a year. When I look at the income levels for my district, for like Avondale, Churchville, there are certain parts of the district where people are only making $12,000 a year, $17,000 a
Below
year,
poverty.
right? They're living below the poverty line. Bringing even just one person in a household up to $40,000 a year,
Woo! It's
you're
party
talking
time.
you're talking about a difference in that person being able to invest in their children going to college, save
Yes.
for actual retirement, the ability to be able to get them some upward mobility so that they can become a
Yes.
stable tax-paying citizen and homeowner in the community. We got to get the income levels up of people. And so I want to see how can we extend that program and bring that over into District 8.
That's it. That's it.
And one of the things that my opponent has not talked about is all of the schools in my district. I have 14 schools from elementary all the way up to college. That gives me an opportunity to not only impact students, but also impact parents. And so one of the things that I want to see when we talk about entrepreneurship, we understand that we need to do a lot better to give resources for small businesses and minority
Yes.
businesses. And the way that we can do that is myself partnering with Tamara Stewart, who is the diversity and inclusion officer for the city, who is responsible for contracting and supplier diversity, making sure that I start funneling people from my district, that we get our paperwork together, we get everything in the finances together, we understand how do we go for these contractors. So some of that's going to be education, some of that's going to be training, some of that's going to be resources. And then the other thing is, Dr. Woods, is how can we impact the school? So I'm not responsible for education, but I'm responsible for the students.
And the parents too. You got
That's
to put
right.
them in
And
there.
the
The
parents.
families. Yes.
So how can we bring partner with some of these schools to bring the resources not only to the community centers, but why can't they be available also in the schools?
And they've got a lot of money because I've been watching the county. Man.
And we never, you jumped ahead of me, Dr. Woods. See, the
Mhm.
other responsibility of a council person is to work and collaborate with other public officials at
Amen.
other levels of government.
Yes.
So every resource that we need cannot and should not come from our city.
That's
We
right.
rarely advocate for resources to come from the county.
And we're in the county.
And we're in the county. We pay taxes to
For
the county. I want to make sure that one of the things that we have a lot of in my district, in Bushtown and Churchville, we have a lot of retired teachers.
Yes.
So and administrators. So I would love to have a steering committee in the community for education. And that's not so we can control education, but I want to be able to take some of those retired teachers and administrators that know the system and okay, how can we start getting involved in? I want to go to the school board meetings with you.
Ooh. We forgot about the school board.
I want to go to the county commission meetings with you.
Number uno.
They need to see Councilwoman Mott and the community that we're here to advocate for resources in education, that we're here to advocate for resources to students and families. And they need to know that I ain't coming by myself, but I'm coming with the community. And we've started to draft some plans and ideas of how we're going to lobby, right?
Mhm.
We got to teach people how to lobby for resources in our community.
And that's how we got the 450,000. And you can't give up. When somebody tells you no, and Mayor Kelly, I'm coming for you. When somebody tells you no, when you're paying taxes and you're representing the people that need it, then expect me to be annoying to you. Expect for me to be like a fly in your ear. I'm not going away. I may go away for a minute to regroup and get my plan together, another one, but I'm coming back because we pay taxes and we're in this city and we're in this county. So I'm going to hold you accountable all the way up to the Supreme Court. So that's the Dr. Woods that you all are used to. I'm still that same Dr. Woods. So just because you tell me no does not mean I am going away. So I will be coming back. And let me just put this out on the table. I know everybody says, Marie Mott, she's wild. She does all these crazy things and da da da. But did you just hear a super intelligent woman on this show talk about her plans? Did you see how articulate she is? Do you know what her educational background is? Do you know she's extremely educated and that she does not come from where you all think she comes from? She is intentional about the way she does what she does when she's out there advocating for the people. And so I want to say to you, I love your madness. I love your madness. And I want to say congratulations because you have caught the attention of everybody in this city and this county. And because of that, when they go back out to the polls in September to vote, I feel that the people will vote. Number one, they're conscious, and people will vote what they think is the best person to represent them. And like I said earlier, I have invited your opponent to come on my show, and I want her to, prove you wrong. Let her tell her side of the story because I want her to. Because everybody needs to see the left and the right, or, you and your opponent. They need to see so they can be an informed voter.
That's right.
When they go to the poll. And so thank you so much. We have about 7 more minutes on the show before we got to get out of here. So if you have a question for Marie Mott, call in.
Call me.
423-713-7614. And if you missed this show, don't worry. We recorded it. It's going to be everywhere. We have a YouTube channel. We have an Instagram account. We're on website. We're on the Facebook. Every time you turn around, you're gonna see WPTP 100.1 FM radio, and you're gonna hear us talking about Alton Park Development Corporation, because we are the only African American owned and operated community development corporation that owns a building probably worth, the last time I had an appraisal, more than $3 million. It is 48,000 square feet, and we have 8 acres of land with it. I don't know of any other Black organization or Black business or whatever you want to call it in this city in Hamilton County that has that much to offer to the community. And when I'm dead and gone, I'm the president now, but when I'm dead and gone, somebody else will be ready to take over. So I'm grooming folks, and I want you to be a part of Alton Park Development Corporation.
Well, I got all the way up to 38th Street in my district.
Hey,
so Alton Park is in my district.
That's what I'm talking about. We are going to be strategically inviting people to be a part of what we're doing. We did have to kind of take a recess period because we went through a period of COVID, and their money was dried up everywhere. And so now we have pulled ourselves together, and we're coming back out with a vengeance. You all saw our fundraising lineup for 2022-23. And also, you can also go on our website anytime. You can give $1, you can give $10, you can give whatever you want to give to the program that you want that money to be seated, and it is tax-free. If you need a receipt for your accountant, we can provide a receipt for you. So please give to the only African American Community Development Corporation in this city and in this county that has your interest at heart, that has a $3 million facility with 8 acres of land, a huge playground, basketball court, you name it. We've got a computer center in here, a thrift store in here, a dental mercy clinic in here. We own this radio station. That's one of the most powerful tools that you can have.
That's right.
It's the ability to go out and spread the word through media, and that could be radio, television, or print. And we have the radio, and we are nationwide. You can hear us anywhere in the world if you've got internet. All you got to do is go to WPTP1001FM.com. And if you want to learn about Alton Park Development Corporation, go to APDC98, which is the year we were formed, 98.org. Some people have only been around for about a year or two. Some of them just got their 501c3. But we have ours that dates all the way back to 1998, when we received and was the recipient of the Hope 6 grant, which was $36 million. The reason why we've got the villages is because this organization was the organization that the federal and the state and the local government empowered to help build the villages and to help revitalize Alton Park and do the things that you see. We got a long way to go. $36 million ain't a lot of money. We probably need $1 billion, but we're going to keep on pushing. And Alton Park Development Corporation will be here because why? God gave us this facility that was once a school for Black children only, and empowered us with programs in here to do the things that he needs us to do to help his people. And it's the people that you do the least for, that you do it as it unto God. And that's why we will be here. We will be here. We're going to keep on doing our paperwork. Secretary of State Trey Argard, don't worry about it. We good to 2023. We're going to keep on doing our 990s for the federal government. We're going to keep on turning our paperwork in to the state for the business department. Those are 3 things you have to do. And if you don't do all 3 of them, you ain't in business. If you're a charity organization or a nonprofit, you got to do all 3. And you all can go to the website and you will see Alton Park Development Corporation on the Secretary of State website. We good. Out of all the charities across this whole state of Tennessee, and they're listed alphabetically. Who can raise money, who can solicit for money, and who can fundraise is listed. And if your name ain't on there and you took some money, all right. All righty then. All righty then. If you see Marie Mott, you probably seeing me. And you see me, you probably see Marie Mott. So I just want to thank you.
Oh, thank you.
You're a breath of fresh air to me.
Oh, well, thank you.
I can go somewhere and sit down.
Oh man, yes, you can. And I just want to encourage the younger people to take up the mantle that we have been given of progress, so that we can position ourselves,
yes,
for progress for the future. If you are interested in learning about my platform and seeing the things that I stand for and reaching out to me, because I am available to you already, you can go to Vote Mott. That's VOTEMOTT.com. You can find me on all social media platforms at the number 4 TWO, the number 3 Marie MARIE on all of my socials. And family, I look forward to igniting the dreams and the passions of the next generation in District 8.
All right. And you know what? There's nothing else to say behind that. Thank you all for tuning in today. And you don't have to live in District 8 to help her. You can give a contribution. You can go knock on doors. You can hang signs up. You can put signs in the ground. You can just go and just walk with her. You do not have to live in District 8 to support Marie. I just want to say that.
Thank you.
Some people think you got to live in District 8 or you can't help you. You can help her. A lot of folks have contributed to your campaign, but they live so far away from where you live, but they believe in you. And so I want to say thank you.
Thank you for having me.
God bless you on this race.
Thank you.
And I look forward to seeing you
on the other side
as
your councilwoman.
Amen. All right. And so until next week, you have tuned in to what's happening in your neck of the woods with your talk show host, Dr. Elenora Woods. I will be here next week. I want once again, thank you all. I am back and I'm about 35 pounds lighter according to my Dr. Thursday. So y'all can see I look kind of cute on the camera there. I'm looking skinny a little bit and I love it because I'm healthier. So thank you all for your prayers. Thank you all for your contributions to Alden Park Development Corporation and to this wonderful radio station. And I will see you at the same time next week. And until then, make sure you go out into a church. You're always invited to Greater Emmanuel Apostolic Church, where I attend, where Pastor Warfield is the senior pastor. You can always come out. Our church services start at 11 o'clock. Please come out. But if not, go visit a church or listen to a church on virtual. You can listen to churches virtually now. But make sure you give God some praise and glory.
Yes, ma'am.
I'll see y'all next week.
Peace.